Don't worry about playing fast. Like I was telling these guys all day that playing fast or getting to play fast is a byproduct of proper technique, proper mechanics, body mechanics, and motion. And if you stick with that, you'll have plenty of power, you'll have plenty of speed, and then you'll be able to express.
Nutville. Wow.
Yeah.
That was fantastic, man.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Tired.
Tired.
Been here working all day. They got me working hard here.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Drumeo Live lesson. I'm here with Gil Sharone. Hey, I'm glad to have you out, man.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I've been a huge fan of yours from a long time ago. Dillinger Escape Plan, I think, is what started it. The Wicked Beats DVD pack that you have, or the book, is incredible. If you guys haven't seen that, go and check it out.
Thank you.
And you're known for playing with Dillinger. You're known for playing with Marilyn Manson for the past few years. What are some of the movie scores you've recorded on? I've
been lucky to play on tons of cool scores, like all 3 John Wick movies.
Yeah.
The scores and all the original songs for them. You know, Tyler Bates, who is someone I work with a lot. He's amazing. Deadpool 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, did some stuff on that. Some TV stuff. The Punisher on Netflix, which is a killer series.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like to stay busy.
Yeah, so you're super versatile. That was Nutville, if you guys didn't know that song. Big band style, but you go all over the place. Your musical variety is incredible, man.
I love music, and that's what I want to convey to the audience, that I'm not just like a rock dude, or people might know me from a rock gig, but I'm not just a rock dude. So, or I did a reggae thing, so I'm only a reggae drummer, or I played in Dillinger, so I'm only an extreme metal drummer. So I'm a musician, and I play what I love, and I love a lot of music. So
very cool.
That's what I do.
So what are you here talking to us today?
I want to talk about how I approach technique, classic techniques, to the modern world of drumming, and that's kind of like the epitome of what I am. I'm a modern drummer, but I pay like respect and homage to all the legends rooted in the early days of the drum set, which are the jazz drummers.
Yeah.
And that's my foundation. So I'm not just like some rock dude that dabbles in jazz. Hopefully I didn't mess up Nutville. But yeah, that basis changed my life. As soon as I got into straight ahead jazz, bebop, big band, playing with that, like those different configurations in high school, that just changed my world. And people asked me, do you march? You have like really developed hands. And I never did. That wasn't how I developed my technique. So I'm here to share just my outlook on those classic techniques like the Moeller technique, and how I apply it to all these different styles I play.
Very cool. Very cool. He's at Drumeo for a couple days here. We're also filming some play-alongs with them, talking about Jamaican rhythms, talking about ska, rocksteady, and a bunch of other things. So if you guys like what you hear today and you're a huge fan of Gil, go to drumeo.com/trial. You can try Drumeo for a little bit and see what we have inside. And if you want to follow Gil, go on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, just at Gil Sharone. You can find him there. He also has his Wicked Beats pack, like I already mentioned, which you can go and find on Hudson Music and through your music stores too. Well, let's get into it. Before we do, play us something different, something that's a little more modern, rocky. Set this song up for us. What is this?
This is a medley I made of 4 tunes. The first 3 are from a release on Warner Brothers for DC Comics. It's basically the soundtrack to their latest release of the Dark Knights comic book. And I got to work with Tyler Bates and Mike Elizondo, 2 just legends in the industry and amazing musicians. They brought me in to play drums on these tunes with different singers on them. So you might recognize some of these voices. The first tune is Chino Moreno from the Deftones, who I work with in a bunch of different settings. The next one, we go into Braun from Mastodon, who's their drummer, who's an incredible drummer, but he's also got an amazing voice. So Braun's singing the second track in the medley. Third track is Jason from the Fever 333. And then it goes into the original song Tyler and I did with Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains for John Wick 2. It's called Job to Do. So instead of just playing like one song for 5 minutes, I thought it'd be more fun for you guys to just check out this variety that you can hear on these releases.
I sent you close, I can taste your smile. Cut the wire and wait for me outside. As you release, remain close and still. Still. I put them on mute. That shit is bad for you. That shit is bad for you. Yeah, see how they view them, see how they get skewed. But then they ask for you to handle mass dispute. Yeah, if you were to fact check, you'd be taking back that pretty little price on my head. And if you were to track that criminal and back, you would see that I paid off my debt. So, what are you doing? I'm hiding the truth because it's bad for you. Because it's bad for you. Yeah, they came to ruin the bat in the suit like I'm a vandal too, as if I'm bad for you. If you were to fact check, you'd be taking back that pretty little price on my head. And if you were to track that criminal and back, you will see that I paid off my debt. Yeah, but you don't know me, so you don't owe me a thing. I'll retreat to my den, and you don't know me, so you don't owe me a thing. I'll retreat to my den.
Time to get paid today. Another face that file away. Turn the corner long ago. Never look back, never slow. Under the still of night, waiting, shifting I say you, just another job to do. Leave me to clear unobstructed view. Trying not to give. I say you, just another job to do. Trying not to give myself away.
Well done, man.
Thank you.
Killer.
So yeah,
That's a nice little medley.
I thought that was cool, just, you know, with all the different grooves and styles and how they connect to my vibe. Like
Yeah.
the second half of that track with Jason from The Fever, I totally break into. You know, that's kind of
Yeah.
influence from reggae.
Yeah,
The
totally.
steppers pattern, but fast in a rock context. And then, you know, track with Jerry that I ended with was in 6. A nice, beautiful feel in 6. And I love playing in odd times too, you know?
Very cool. So how do you apply? Well, I guess you're talking classic technique into modern or to all styles. What does that even mean?
I feel like a lot of people miss key elements of the classic techniques that I feel like I'm an ambassador for or something. You know, when I used to walk the halls of the NAMM convention, if you guys don't know what the NAMM show is, it's like the biggest music convention we have here in the States every year in January. And guys like Jim Chapin, you know, legend, wrote Advanced Techniques for the Modern Drummer, and just was so gracious. Like, I remember just being a kid and like in awe of this like weird old man with this like big white hair, and he walked around with marching band sticks and a practice pad, and he'd talk to anybody about Moeller. And he wasn't like a car salesman about it. He was just telling you like, this is the truth.
Yeah.
So over the years, you know, I've taught a lot. I really like teaching. It's not just something like whatever I have to do or something, or it's like
Sure,
a chore.
you enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So And I think that's another thing. Like, there's a lot of amazing players out there, but a lot of them aren't really, they don't know how to translate what they're doing. I'm just doing cool shit. Okay, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah.
So Moeller is definitely the basis of, as soon as I lift up my arm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a martial artist with certain technique. I relate a lot of my analogies to martial arts. But I notice people that that have studied with me or whatever, or looking, they hit a plateau. And as soon as they hit a plateau, there's two things that to me cause a plateau. It's either a creative rut. Everyone's like, yo, you like play all these styles, I play the same fill like for everything I do. How can you show me some new stuff? So it's a creative rut where they just hit this wall, or it's a technical rut where their technique, whether it's with their hands or their feet, will not enable them to express.
Right.
So, and a lot of core problems that I've seen with a lot of the drummers out there are lack of wrist movement.
Okay.
And it's like always just right off the bat, I'll watch someone play for like just not like 4 bars, not even, and just be like, dude, you're not moving your wrists, or you're muscling through something. You're like really, like you could play really fast, but you're gonna like kill yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just made me like,
Yeah.
I like to talk about how to keep that classic technique based in Moeller, but I do so. It's not just Moeller. It's other things. There's other nuances, but Moeller is just where to start.
Well, let's get into that then.
Let's do it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I'm just going to show you guys 3 quick hand techniques. I'm not trying to I can spend a lesson on each one, and we don't have that time right now. So I'm just going to give it to you, and then we're going to do some choruses on technique, and you can check those out on Drumeo. So the first one is, what is Moeller? So a lot of guys explain a Moeller as a whipping motion, which it is. Like, I don't care what your fulcrum is. You could hold your sticks in here. I don't care. We're not going for that right now. It's this motion. So I like to teach a way that's not as exaggerated, where you flare the elbow out and this comes all the way up to the sky and then you hit down. Like, it's just, I believe in exaggerated motions, but it's just not that practical being a modern drummer.
Right.
It's old school, which is fine. But here's like a newer way to approach it. So when I start in this ready position, I like to make a V, and I'm a match grip and a traditional grip player. So either way works. And I'm just gonna whip a single stroke. My elbow still flares out, but it's not like super crazy. It's just, look, like the first thing that's moving on this stroke is my elbow. See? Mm-hmm. It's right there. It's not, my wrist isn't moving first. So at first I teach it lead from the elbow. And the wrist follows. It's like watching a snake or a swan or something. But then just work on that. A Moeller whip. Stop the stick just like an inch above the head. Notice I'm not going like this.
Yeah.
That's different. We can get into stick control and all this stuff that I talked to Freddie Gruber about years ago, and all these guys. It's like Steve Smith is another guy I used to just talk to. I'd approach all these legends, after they played at a jazz club or something, and I'd be like, hey, can I talk to you about this or whatever? And that's how I learned. This is I'm pre-YouTube. So it's important that you just get that motion started, the whip, single whip. Stopping it is just hovering right above the head. We were talking about burying the bass drum beater earlier. I'm not doing this and stopping it right in the head. I'm just doing a nice whip stroke and controlling the stick hovering right above the head. That's the first one. The next one is a down up. When you see me play these grooves, you take that away, and you just look what I'm doing at the hi-hat. So now you have your downstroke. And why we leave it where we leave it is because now you're gonna get an upstroke on the way up by just collapsing the wrist. So that exaggerated motion turns into this. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Make it smaller. Some people think of it as like a seesaw or like an in and out. However you want to see it. You're basically getting 2 for 1. See that wrist movement?
Yeah.
So you get a lot of speed out of it as well. Like that turns into fast singles and how I move around the kit with singles. So those are the first 2 that I'll just show for now. Just a single stroke and then a double, which is down, up, stroke, up, stroke. Whip, up, stroke. Actually, I'll show you one more, the Moeller Triplet,
Okay.
which is key. That leads into so many different styles of whether you're playing jazz time or fast. It's like effortless when you get it. You just open, and now you're getting 3 hits for 1. So the motion, the first single hit is a whip. Second, the 2 hits is a whip and an upstroke. Moeller Triplet is a whip, tap, upstroke. Tap, I say like you're knocking on someone's door. You go like that. That's all wrist. I'm not using my arm at the elbow. So many dudes don't use their wrist and they just force it from the elbow. Bad technique. So it's whip, tap. I'll take my time. When I'm ready, upstroke. 1, 3. Upstroke. Upstroke. Now that's exaggerated. When you make it smaller, that's all that is.
You're right.
It's very smooth. So then the last hand technique I want to show you real quick is isolating the wrist. So we're not really going to whip. We're just going to keep everything still and relaxed, shoulders relaxed. All we're doing is doing double stroke rolls where we're isolating just wrist strokes. So instead of a whip, we're just going to do this from this ready position. So that's just wrist isolation. But now we're gonna make it flow, and we're gonna put some feet to it just so you can get some musicality out of it, you get some more coordination at the same time, and we're gonna go slow and then double the speed. About speed. Speed will come. I'm about to show you that. So play it slow. If that's as fast as you can go without having it fall apart, just do that. And that's in my wrist. Listen. See?
Crazy.
So I'm not
Yeah.
bouncing them. So that's wrist isolation 101. So you just got some Moeller lessons and you just got some wrist isolation tip. Run with that.
So you get that. That's classic technique. You kind of modernize it in the way that I guess you practice it, the way that you apply it
Yeah.
to the styles.
Yeah, and to me, the way I apply it to different styles is I think of technique as just a way to express.
Right.
It's a way to help me express what I'm trying to do on the drums.
Right.
So it's not so much where I'm thinking, oh, well, now I'm going to switch to fingers, or I'm switching to this or that. Since it's all there, it will enable me to just free flow. And that's what it's all about. It's to not think about it. Like Bruce Lee talks about, he says, in the beginning you have no form because you don't know anything. Then you learn form. Then you go back to formlessness without worrying about it. And it's once you get it in you and through repetition and, practice, it just becomes natural. And don't worry if it doesn't happen right away. Some people get discouraged.
Yeah, well, I like that you bring it up and talk about it, because I think a lot of drummers that have been doing it for so long and are super fast and technical, but they forget that learning process. So it's just like, what do you mean? It just comes natural. But no, you have to go through these things
sure.
sometimes. Do that.
Which takes us into the foot technique.
Let's talk about the feet.
So I approach it the same way like I do my hands. I see my feet as being like, can I grab, oh yeah. I feel my feet as if the ankles are like the wrist. So when I use my ankle to stroke, I try to create a Moeller motion. So I go into a whole thing, I just shot a course on foot control.
Yeah.
Because again, before you have speed, you want to get control. You don't just want to develop speed. You want to get the control and climb up those BPMs until you're really fast and even. So these are 4 techniques that I chose to show today for the live lesson. I dive deeper in with the online lesson on the course, but here's them just real quick. The first one, shuffle. If you don't know what a shuffle is, there's a swing feel. And it makes you feel like you're bouncing. That's a shuffle. When you count straight eighth notes, you count them 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Swung eighths, lazy eighths, because they feel lazy. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Big difference than 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a. So first is going to be a shuffle exercise where you're shuffling with the feet and playing in unison with your lead hand. I'm not going to get in the whole heel up, heel down thing because I already did that and we don't have time for that right now. So just play a shuffle however you would with your pedals. Give me a backbeat on 2 and 4. Once you get there, you're in pretty good shape. So the other variation of that is I'm just going to switch the hi-hat. Instead of doing the straight eighths, I'm going to do just quarters. So you could let the foot really lead the way. So it sounds like this going back and forth. Moving on the ride. So that really helps develop that not only swung feel, but your foot is going to develop from that exercise. Second one, let me consult my
The trusty notes.
trusty notes. Yeah, so again, besides learning how to swing and feel lazy eights and shuffles, it's good to feel the e's and the uhs, like syncopated notes in a bar. If you don't know what that is, most people count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You take 16th notes, 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. We're gonna hit the E's and the U's on the bass drum. So I want you to switch between a backbeat on the snare on 2 and 4, then cutting it in half and only hitting on beat 3, which sounds like this. That's another great exercise that I've seen like transform students in front of my eyes. Like in the beginning of the lesson, they're like, and then it's, again, don't worry about speed. That'll come, like those Dillinger groups. A lot of that is just alternating kick and snare, snare and kick. So
Right.
those are those exercises. Next is triplets, taking a phrase, a triplet phrase, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. You're gonna take the triplet, the 2 second and third beat of the triplet, and put it on the bass drum. With a backbeat. So again, switch from the backbeat to the halftime. Those
Yep.
are 2 feels in modern music.
Yeah.
Like completely, whether it's hard rock or funk or metal, any context, you can play that. Then you speed it up.
Beautiful.
I digress.
Yeah.
Next, last one. Listen to the Outcast track, So Fresh, So Clean. That's got all of these, in a way, all of these previous the exercises in this one groove. And play it slow and fresh and clean. There you have it.
Yeah.
Those are 4 really good foot techniques to help develop. You got your hands and your feet now. We're good.
Those 4 exercises cover so much just with your feet alone.
They do.
The whole course we talked about just those 4 exercises and how you can expand on them. Really cool stuff, man.
Thank you.
And you can see all this technique in your playing, from big band stuff to rock stuff to extreme metal stuff with Dillinger. Before we wrap things up, I want you to play another song for us.
Cool.
Another style. You have something reggae in mind?
Ray, do we have time for both or just one?
Let's do both, man. I'm not
Okay,
going to say
sweet.
no to you playing more music. How about we do the ska big band track?
Yeah, I want to do that. Let me see what number it is on my handy Zoom recorder.
Absolutely.
It's number 10. Hell yeah.
What? That's so crazy.
Yeah. And that style,
Wow.
like we'll talk so much more about this, but if that's like your first exposure to like ska, and some people don't know what ska is, it's music from Jamaica in the 60s that started in the late 50s. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll get into it. But
Dude, I'm so excited. We're doing a whole course on that, and I'm going to learn so much.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn so much. It's the first time I've heard something like that.
Yeah.
And I was blown away.
Sweet.
And again, too, it's like you went from Latin jazz to rock, some ballady stuff in there, some
Yeah.
6/8, then to some Dillinger, then to this. And what's cool about what you're talking about, modern, or I guess you could say classic technique in all styles and modern styles, and is that technique literally goes through any style you play.
Yeah.
And a lot of drummers wonder, what should I practice? Well, if you just focus on technique,
Yeah.
that'll get you through any style you want.
definitely.
You know?
And again, it's not to learn technique just to learn technique. Like there's all sorts of cool tricks. Like the push and pull and stuff. And I use that sometimes, but like rarely. And there's cool things that'll impress other drummers, but musically it doesn't really like have a use.
Yeah.
So to like just hands-on, get you working, get you playing, like that's my approach to playing.
Yeah.
And as long as it's musical, and this technique real quick is all from Lloyd Knibb, like drummer from the Scotalites and just a legend. So that again, that came from his influence and his interpretation of Latin music that he was hearing at the time.
Yeah.
Pre-ska beat,
Yeah.
which he invented, that groove. So yeah, we'll get more into
Okay. Well, we got lots to talk about inside of Drumeo. Before we wrap this up, though, how could the students that are watching this, beginners, intermediates, and whoever, how could they use this stuff to better their drumming? What advice would you give them?
Don't worry about playing fast. Like I was telling these guys all day that playing fast or getting to play fast is a byproduct of proper technique, proper mechanics, body mechanics, and motion. And if you stick with that, you'll have plenty of power, you'll have plenty of speed, and then you'll be able to express. So don't worry about just getting the end game is not just playing fast. Playing fast isn't rare. Everybody plays fast. There's 3-year-old kids that people freak out on YouTube about because they play fast. Like no one cares.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, I'm a working drummer and I'm just trying to give you guys advice. But one other thing for me, I always knew the kind of player I wanted to be from day one. It was never like, I only want to be a rock drummer. I only want to be a jazz drummer. I only want to play like Max Roach. I only want to play like this guy. I knew I wanted to play everything because I feel music and I play what I feel. So that should be what's driving your desire to want to excel on your instrument, not how many YouTube hits am I going to get or this latest whatever I'm going to post. Like that world doesn't even, that's not my world. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'm too busy working.
Yeah.
So it's important for people to realize everybody goes and works at their own speed, their own path. Don't try to like, oh, I'm so jealous of that dude or this guy or that guy. Do you. You'll be so much happier if you just do you and you focus and you practice and you will get to where you want to get to. Reach, like look at your goals and just go for those goals. Don't worry about all this other side noise. Just boom. And that's all I ever did. And, you know, thank God I'm living what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, and you're working all the time. You're constantly in the studio or on the road.
Yeah.
Lots of great info from you, Gil. We need to have you out here for a lot longer than 2 days.
Yeah.
We already were frightened of what we should film because there's so much. But hope you guys like this. Go back and watch those sections on the Moeller technique because that's a cool approach to it. I've seen, I don't know, probably 100 videos on how to do the Moeller method, and each one is different. And I really like your approach and the fact that you can see it in your playing in all styles. Same with the foot. I love those 4 exercises.
Yes.
Again, I'm a huge bass drum technique guy. I love just diving into what's the easiest way to teach students, and I think those grooves are solid. Each
Sweet.
one of them has a different little nugget in there.
Awesome.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Again, follow Gil at Gil Sharone on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Give him some love, and come over to drumeo.com to see what else we're filming with him. Play us out, man.
Yeah.
This is another world style, or I guess Caribbean style.
It's Jamaican,
Medley,
yeah.
Jamaican
just
style.
Straight up reggae.
Now, you told me before we went live that this kind of fades out and you just kind of play.
Yeah.
Do you mind just keep on playing for a while and just have some fun?
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it in the vein. Well, we'll see what I feel. I'm just going to
See
play
what
what I
happens.
feel. But and then sound of the drums we'll talk about, because this isn't the setup I would use for like roots reggae. I could, and I'm obviously about to right now, but
But you got a timbali here.
yeah, that's
So we're
Yeah.
getting there. Yeah.
reach.
Get your
Okay.
core just, hey, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to go listen from in there. I'll see you guys all later. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, here we go.
you.